The QE2 New Generation project is a massive multi-year capital project involving several components. The largest is the Halifax Infirmary expansion and a community outpatient centre located in Bayers Lake. In October 2018, the province announced a P3 model would be used to deliver these projects with an initial estimated cost of approximately $2 billion. Specifically, a P3 model was chosen where a private sector partner is responsible to design, build, finance, and maintain the facilities. Major capital projects, regardless of the delivery model chosen by government, can experience significant challenges. If thorough planning and analysis is not completed in the early stages of the project, it can lead to the poor use of resources, which could negatively impact the delivery of health care. As a result, we believed it was necessary to examine the decision to use a P3 model and the development of the master plan to guide the construction of the facilities. Project delivery options to complete major capital projects all involve some level of private sector involvement. However, the degree of responsibility and risk transferred to the private sector is what distinguishes a traditional project delivery model from a P3. In a traditional model, the government contracts with the private sector to design and construct the buildings, but the government is responsible for risks such as budget overruns, construction delays, and for the long-term maintenance of the building. Under a P3 model, the province pays a premium to the private sector partner to take on risks related to the construction and long-term maintenance of the facilities. Overall, we found the basis for the decision to use a design, build, finance, and maintain model, and the development of the master plan was based on reasonable and appropriate analysis. It is positive that these steps of the project were completed appropriately. It is now incumbent upon project leadership within government to ensure that strong oversight continue as the project moves from these early planning stages through to construction and completion. Past audits by our office have identified examples of significant shortcomings in government's oversight of P3 schools and the construction of hospital infrastructure. Continuing forward, strong oversight by government will play a vital role to the success of the project. Much is left to be done, and significant milestones remain. This includes the development of functional output specifications to guide the detailed design of the buildings, selection of private sector partners to deliver the project, and construction of the infrastructure. Beyond construction, the contract with the private sector partner to maintain the buildings will also require effective contract management to ensure the potential value of the design, build, finance, maintain model is actually realized. The selection of a P3 model by government followed an established methodology. This included an assessment of numerous traditional and P3 models and a comprehensive financial analysis that compared the costs and risks of a traditional model to a design, build, finance, and maintain model. The government analysis concluded that this option was significantly better than a traditional or non-P3 approach. We found the government's business case took steps to avoid common biases found in this kind of decision, including using real numbers to assess the province's past performance in constructing and maintaining infrastructure, rather than relying on estimates and judgment, completing sensitivity analysis around assumptions. And we also found that the master plans for the Halifax Infirmary expansion and the Community Outpatient Centre were developed using a documented methodology. Functional programs were developed for the impacted departments within the hospital. These programs outline the space required for the department, including details such as the number of beds, exam rooms, and procedure rooms required to meet the projected future demand for services. This information was used to develop master plans for the project, which provide an overview of the location of the new buildings, as well as the location of departments within the buildings. Throughout this process, there was extensive consultation with key stakeholders within the Nova Scotia Health Authority. Due to the overall significance of this project, We also followed up on the recommendations we made in our December 2019 report. We were pleased to find that significant work has been completed since that report to address the concerns we identified. We found that 2 of our recommendations were complete, and for 2 others there had been some progress made towards completion. The final recommendation was not reviewed as it related to future phases of the project and could not have yet been addressed. We have made some important recommendations to ensure that future steps are taken to help ensure a successful project. These 3 recommendations target some actions that government has already identified as necessary to ensure the design, build, finance, maintain model remains the best approach and provides the expected value to the province. Specifically, we recommended that important steps be taken through the implementation and operational periods of the project. This includes the development of a transitional plan to guide the project through its various stages, a stakeholder engagement plan that outlines an overall approach to communicating with stakeholders and the public, and a benefits realization plan to assess whether the project met its objectives. We also recommended that strategies already identified by the department to ensure the design, build, finance, maintain model remains the best option be implemented, including updating the business case during the procurement stage, ensuring consistency between the final project agreement and the risk transfer model used in the business case, ensuring appropriate contract management. Carrying out these strategies should also help to allow the province to assess the impact of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The onset of a global pandemic has not only added new risk to the project, but also potentially changed the impact of risks already assessed in the business case. Finally, it is important for the final design of the facilities to reflect the requirements outlined in the functional programs, and that any changes be reviewed with impacted departments within the hospital and receive final approval from the appropriate oversight committees. I will now leave Nova Scotians with some questions they may want to ask related to this audit.